Thank you very much, and thank you to Carl and Rebecca for inviting me today. It's been really interesting and exciting getting to know a little bit about Neighbourhood Prayer over the last year when I met Carl, and we realised we must work together because we actually have more in common than just a first name. I don't just partner with people called Carl, of course, but it's a good start. Carl's just invited me just to spend a few moments just explaining a little bit about faith in later life, which I'm delighted to do so, and then I'll talk a little bit about why we're really keen to partner with Neighbourhood Prayer Network. Faith in Later Life is quite new as an organisation. It's 2 years old. I've been leading it since June last year, so not for all of that time. But Faith in Later Life was set up by 5 Christian organisations: the Salvation Army, London City Mission, Pilgrims Friends Society, Mission Care and Key Change, the latter 3 who all provide Christian care. These 5 organisations recognised that there was a bit of a gap in the church around equipping, supporting churches around older people and being a voice for older people. We know that many churches have youth pastors and family pastors, but not necessarily someone specifically looking after and working with and through older people. And of course, it's not an either situation. But with a gap, Faith in Later Life was set up. And it's a real joy to be leading this organisation. And what we want to do, much like Neighbourhood Prayer Network, we're not there to do anything instead of church. We want to work with and through church. And we want to encourage churches and equip them in their ministries with older people. And we want to do 3 things. We want churches to reach, serve and empower older people. And so in the reach bit, and that's somewhere where we have a lot of synergy, if you like, to use a posh word, with Neighbourhood Prayer Network. We want churches to be intentional about reaching older people in wider communities. We know that there are 11.9 million older people in the UK, and you can ask me what older means afterwards if you want to. 40% of those say that the television is their primary form of contact. Over 1 million are profoundly lonely, and we know that's not okay. And as church, we are the hands and feet of the Lord. So we want churches to reach out into their local communities. And to help them do that, we have an activities directory on our website. The idea being you type in your postcode or that of your elderly aunt, and it brings up all the churches around her that are running lunch clubs and outreach events for older people across the UK. And we have over 2,300 churches on there so far. Of course, with 45,000 churches across the UK, there's much more to do. But we want to bring together the work that churches are already doing, and those who aren't, just give them a nudge, so we can be more intentional about reaching older people for the Lord. Older people of any faith or none, we want them to come into community and find friendship and genuine Christ-like love. And ultimately, we would love them to know what it means to be truly valued. And we also want to serve and empower older Christians. We want churches to understand the value of their older people. We know that the Bible gives us a mandate to serve older people, but we don't just want to serve older people. We don't just want to make sure there's a hearing loop and a ramp, to be slightly flippant. We want churches to empower their seniors. We know church is meant to be intergenerational. We know that when God commissioned Moses and Aaron, they were around 82. Daniel dropped into the lion's den around the age of 80. God doesn't finish with you when you're older. A society perhaps wants to finish with you when you're older. So what do we do practically? We have a resource hub on our website. We want to be a curator of resources, a Google for churches when it comes to older people. So you can go on the website, and we have about 150 resources, half of which are free to download. The others you would click through to the Salvation Army or to Amazon, whoever it is, and buy whatever it's available. Everything from how to be a dementia-friendly church, we heard about dementia earlier, to the theology of later life, to how to make a church intergenerational, to how to take a service in a care home. We really want to equip churches when it comes to working with and through older people, where they may not have that support within their own church. And so in terms of the story so far, as I said, we're quite a new organisation, but we already have, as I said, over 2,300 churches featuring what they're doing on our website. We launched last year a network of church champions, where we're trying to bring a person, as opposed to the website, to a church. Somebody in a church who works with us, has a bit more of a closer relationship with us. And we have church champions across England and over 34 of our counties, and also in Wales and in Scotland and Ireland, and even further afield in 6 countries in Africa, and then in France and other places. We're really wanting to lead the charge, not compete with anybody, work with everybody, but lead the charge when it comes to championing older people and be a voice for older people from a Christian viewpoint. And we've got lots of exciting things coming up too. We have a national conference next year. We've also got a book coming out, but I'm not going to talk about that because I want you to read Carl's and Rebecca's book. But we really want to just be a consistent voice for older people. A lot of what I do is going on BBC Local Radio and Christian Radio and other places, talking about the importance of the church reframing the way we see older people and then seeing how society might follow. And the reason we do this is we want to see lives changed. Recently I had a phone call from a lady who lives in Greater Manchester. I've been on BBC Radio Manchester, and she was housebound and very unwell. She had fibromyalgia and various other conditions, and she was very isolated and for various reasons didn't have engagement with her local church. So we were able to put her in contact with a Christian befriending organisation in Greater Manchester who sent someone to see her and brought her into Christian community. And then coming back to the Neighbourhood Prayer Network, a good friend of mine in my church, Betty, is 99, and she was at the front of church recently telling us about how she'd been praying for church for 70 years. And it's really close to my heart, older people, as you can imagine, but also I'm very conscious of the riches we have from our older Christians, and whilst perhaps they can't do some things, they can pray and often are real prayer warriors. So as Faith and Later Life looks forward to an exciting alliance and partnership with the Neighbourhood Prayer Network, I'm excited about seeing how we can really galvanise churches to recognise their praying seniors and learn to walk and champion older people as we pray for our nation street by street. Thank you for listening.